Hello everyone. In the last 5 years, we have seen a dozen of players jump into the digital payments market, and Bharatpe, in spite of being a newbie in the crowded payments market of India, has already reached $3.8 billion valuation in just 4 years of its launch. Within this short span of its existence, it's already serving more than 8 million merchants in more than 150 cities and claims to process over 110 million UPI transactions per month. But at the same time, if you look at the financials of Bharatpe, then you will find that the operating revenue grew 1900% from rupees 5 crore 96 lakhs to rupees 119 crores, and the losses are shot up by 34.1% from rupees 206 crores to rupees 277 crores in the financial year 2021-22. So, in this video, we will understand how will Bharatpe become profitable and what is the business model of Bharatpe. All this started in 2016 when the payment renaissance of India began due to demonetization, and as we all saw, 86% of India's cash was declared invalid overnight. But all thanks to internet and mobile penetration, Paytm came as a savior and helped us to transfer money even to the smallest vendor through a QR code. As usual, with such a huge untapped market, several other payment gateways started offering cashback to onboard as many merchants and customers as possible. While most of us very easily become the adapters of this digital payment system, but behind this, an IIT Delhi student named Shashwat Nakhrani noticed 3 critical problems in this system. Number 1. Since each payment app needed a different QR code, for instance, when you went to a shop and at the time of making the payment, it would turn out that the shopkeeper only had Paytm while we had migrated to Google Pay or PhonePe. So, obviously the shopkeeper would insist that we make the payment in cash, and this defeated the entire purpose of going cashless. Number 2. While payment apps charge 0% fees on transactions for the customers like you and me, but for merchants, there was not a single wallet that was taking less than 1.5% as commissions. For instance, if you bought groceries worth rupees 500, the profit of the vendor itself is just rupees 50 to rupees 75, and in that also 1.5% of the purchase value, which is rupees 7.5, used to go for payment gateways as commissions. Lastly, the awareness of the UPI system, which was practically free, was very less, and that's when it struck him that there has to be some way of leveraging UPI to remove all charges on payments. This is when Mr. Nakhrani and his co-founder Mr. Ashneer on 20th March of 2018 launched Bharatpe with a vision to revolutionize the payment systems in India. The first thing they did was that they leveraged UPI star feature, which was interoperability. So now a single QR code was enough to transfer funds from your bank account to merchant's bank account without any hurdles. And the best part of this entire transaction was that it was free for both the merchants and the users. Another plus point for merchants was that while most wallets and payment gateways had a minimum 2 days settlement window, through Bharatpe they got their money credited on the same day itself. As a result, thousands of merchants adopted Bharatpe in no time. If the entire transaction was being done at free of cost, then how did Bharatpe make money? Well, this is where the expertise of our ex-shark Mr. Ashneer came in. Mr. Grover spent many years in American Express, wherein he met more than 100 founders who are into the payment business. This helped him to understand the fintech space properly. On top of that, since he was the chief financial officer of Grofers, he understood the problems of merchants more than anyone else. And this experience gave him 2 critical insights. Number 1. The margins of retailers were too low to burn a hole in the pockets of the merchants with commissions. So, the right way to make money was definitely not commissions. Number 2. He understood that although shopkeepers will not pay for the service, but they would be more than happy to pay interest on loans. Because one major problem with Indian banking is that despite micro, small and medium enterprises being such an indispensable pillar to our economic growth, but no private banks want to lend them money due to either lack of documents or collaterals. This unmet credit gap of micro, small and medium enterprises is $1 trillion in India. This is the reason why Bharatpe tapped on this golden opportunity to start a merchant lending system, and they entered the lending space by partnering with non-banking financial companies. After all, let's try to understand how will Bharatpe become profitable. Well, this is where Bharatpe's artificial intelligence algorithm comes in. Just like our credit card companies note our spending patterns every time we make a payment. So, every time you make a payment at a store through the QR code, the Bharatpe algorithm takes note of the cash inflows at the merchant's end. Similarly, when the merchant pays his supply through Bharatpe, the algorithm keeps note of their monthly inventory value, and it also notes a spending patterns and several other parameters to estimate the projected savings, income, consistency of income, and so on. Just like our credit card companies look at your spending patterns to decide how creditworthy you are, the algorithm of Bharatpe uses this data to calculate the risk of lending to a particular merchant. In this way, without any paperwork, the Bharatpe algorithm can decide the creditworthiness of a merchant. So, in this way, all the progress a store makes is officially documented by the Bharatpe algorithm. And once enough data is collected, if the algorithm sees that Mrs. Seetal has a healthy net inflow of Rs 3 lakh per month, and if she requested a loan for Rs 10,000, then Bharatpe will immediately process the loan without any paper or collateral. Similarly, if Mr. Sundar has an inflow of Rs 3 lakh and requests a loan for Rs 3 lakh, then Bharatpe might charge a higher interest rate as compared to Mrs. Seetal because the risk is high. Once this lending procedure starts, the algorithm gets smarter at risk assessment based on the merchant's loan history and credit score. This is how Bharatpe currently provides unsecured loans in the range of Rs 10,000 to Rs 7 lakh for up to 12 months and charges an interest of about 2% per month. Now, one of the biggest problems with lending is the collection challenges and defaults. So, even if a company wants to scale its lending business, they need a tremendous amount of workforce for recovery. According to Bharatpe, its repayment rate is 96%, which is among the best in the market. So, practically Bharatpe is practically like Basuli Bhai. So the question is, how did Bharatpe achieve this incredible benchmark? Well, this is where their leverage with QR code comes in. Instead of requiring the merchant to pay monthly installments, it deducts the amount from the transactions before the bank settlement for each day. For instance, if the merchant has to pay back Rs 15,000 installment per month and he has an inflow of Rs 4.5 lakh per month, then he has an average inflow of Rs 15,000 per day. So, instead of asking for the payment at the end of the month, before the app pays the merchant Rs 15,000 at the end of the day, it by default subtracts Rs 500 as daily installment and then pays Rs 14,500 to the merchant at the end of the day. This creates a win-win situation wherein the merchants are not burdened. They don't need to be reminded about payments, and at the same time Bharatpe can ensure that its repayments happen without any problems. This is the reason why Bharatpe has an astonishing repayment rate of 96%. And today Bharatpe loans are available in more than 12,000 pin codes in 25 states. It has a sales force of 4,000 agents to educate merchants on various financial products. And they have an insane retention rate of 45% of its merchants taking repeat loans. Therefore, more merchants means more data processing means better risk assessment means less bad debt, and which means insane profitability. This is the reason why Bharatpe is spending $2.5 million a month to onboard as many merchants as possible. As a result, they have witnessed a crazy growth rate of 10x in the last fiscal. This brings me to the conclusion part of this video. I personally don't know who will win this fintech war, but till now Bharatpe is practically the king of this market in India. Recently, Ashneer resigns from Bharatpe, and we are not going to put our minds in this controversy. By using the problem-solving skills and excellent business strategies, Bharatpe is now the leader. As a result, we might see in near future that Bharatpe would become profitable. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and watching our video till the end.